This unbelievably fantastic, awesome, amazing episode of This Week in MMO is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, just head on over to the amazingly awesome, super mega awesome time blowing up the spot, technologically advanced from space, URL netflix.com/GameBreakerTV for a free 30-day trial.
Game Breaker TV.
Hello. It's Friday. What's up, everybody? Welcome to This Week in MMO, episode 158 for August 23rd, 2013. You're watching Game Breaker. I'm Gary Gannon. Coming up on today's show, that subscription model rears its ugly head again. Yes, we've got details about the EQ Next Landmark, and Black Gold Online is really, and I mean really complicated. All that more, but first, joining us as always, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, and you know what I'll be doing in like 12 hours?
Steeping tea?
Sleeping.
Oh, sleeping. You texted me that, but I saw steeping instead of sleeping. Not getting up early for the Final Fantasy launch, are you? No. Who will be getting up at a prompt, 4:30 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
You will be up and ready reporting for duty, sir. Final Fantasy XIV launches, Head Start launches at, what is it? Is it 4:35 a.m.? 5 a.m., right?
5 a.m. Eastern, my time. Yeah, 2 your time, Gary. So 12 hours from now, I will have been leveling for an hour and 45 minutes.
What if I just
turning
stay
over
up all
my
night?
Table because there's server issues?
Or I'm just going to say, do you anticipate server issues? Do you think you're going to get in like at 5?
I'm sure there's going to be, the usual queues and ups and downs.
Why don't you just sleep in for like an hour?
Yeah, just sleep in.
No,
man.
because if I don't get up and do it, I don't. It's like if you don't vote, you don't have any right to complain. If I don't get up at 5, I'm not. No. If I'm gonna be the first one in line to complain, Gary. So I've got to be there to experience it.
You're a true person of the interwebs.
No, I'm
you
not
must
going to
complain
about it. It's just something fun to do. I've got some friends coming over tonight. They're going to crash here. We're going to have a little LAN.
It's like a slumber party.
Are you really?
You guys do each other's nails?
What time are you doing that?
Have a pillow fight?
After TWIMMO and after Game Breaker Nation Community Cast, I'm going to hit the gym, and then I've got to go pick up 2 people, and the rest will meet us here, and the kids are off at grandma's. It's like a big party type thing.
Wow.
Except this time it happens to be for a game.
The most unbelievable part of that is that he's going to the gym.
Hey, brother, don't mess with me in the gym. I don't skip that thing. I love that.
I need to get back to the gym. Wow, maybe I'll do the gym. Good for you, man. Look, it's a LAN party.
It's fun.
It is fun.
We're talking about video games.
I'm kind of jealous. Come east. I'm not goofing on you. I'm sort of just thinking about going like, damn, I wish I had a plan. I don't have no plan. All right, so let's talk some MMOs. First up, real quick, we launched a brand new website, hearthnation.com. All Hearthstone, all the time. Get on over. Go check it out, hearthnation.com. All right, so craziest, the subscription model apparently is not dead. We talk a lot about free-to-play on this show, and especially then we absolved folded Derpy Dragon, the free-to-play show, into TWIMMO because everything was going free-to-play. Well, nope. Okay, now it's back to subscription. So subscriptions are the new black. So first, WildStar announced a subscription, which we talked about on UDSP. Did you guys see this coming? Buy the box, full subscription, or sort of what we call like the Plex system from Eve with what is going to be called cred. Play the game a lot, earn cred, pay for your subscription monthly if you're a hardcore gamer.
I saw a subscription being an option, and I think we all kind of saw that much. I thought there would be more in the way of hybrid. I mean, they had tossed that word, Jeremy Gaffney in particular had tossed that word around as early as months ago when I interviewed him for Game Breaker. And that was one of the first times he said anything about the payment model was hybrid. And I don't think people really felt that this was a hybrid, but I did feel a subscription would be a piece of one of the options, yeah.
Do you consider this a true hybrid?
No, I don't consider it a hybrid at all. I consider it a hybrid in the way that my electric company gives me multiple options as far as paying my electric bill, right? I still have to pay the electric bill. It's still a certain amount, but I can use my debit card or I can use a check. Either way, I'm still going to pay it. So I don't think it's really hybrid in what all of us consider hybrid, where we see mixes of cash shops and boxes and subs and microtransactions and things like that. I'm not saying it's not nice to have options. It's great to have options. I just don't consider it hybrid myself.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I thought we were going to have something that was going to be at least a little different from just, a straight up sub or straight up free to play. I didn't know if maybe they would kind of, because they're both under the NCSoft banner, I thought maybe they might go the Guild Wars model, the buy to play. Didn't so much expect them to go with this route, because I think Terra has something like this too, but they're free to play.
Yeah, EverQuest.
Yeah, and Rift also. So I mean, it's
Eve.
out there a little bit. It's more than just it's more than just Eve, but yeah, it's something that hasn't, other than Eve, really hasn't been around for that long with other games. So
no, to be honest,
untested.
When Eve, I think it's quite tested. I mean, when Eve put the Plex system in Eve, I couldn't. I was like, this seems like a fantastic system. People might need to like do a little digging, at least reading about the description of how it actually works, because it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit different. The great thing about this system is it really cuts down big time on the amount of gold sellers in game. Like it doesn't, I won't say it's going to like wipe it out 100%, but man, it just really puts a damper on that. So like I said, they're going to have, it's on within the game. There's something called Cred, CREDD. And it basically lets people to sell gold, or sell game time for gold. And you could, if you play a lot and you get enough cred, you could turn the cred into, actually pay for your subscription time and not have to pay a subscription fee. I don't know. I'm a real fan of this system. I mean, it's people who play EVE Online absolutely love it. They think it's a great system. Like you said, I haven't really followed up if it's how it's working with Terra and ElderScrolls, but I don't know. I'm surprised more companies actually don't try this, because it seems solid.
I don't think it's working at all in Terra anymore. Aren't ElderScrolls non-existent anymore?
Oh, I don't know.
When it went free to play, I think those got taken out and you got gold for them instead. But yeah, I have nothing against this model. If you don't want to pay us, they were screwed either way, right? All these companies are. It doesn't matter what model you announce, you're going to piss somebody off. We wanted it free to play and there's going to be a sub. We wanted it sub-based and it's going to be free to play. You're not going to win with the initial announcement, and Jeremy Gaffney said as much when he made the announcement as well. I like the model. Ultimately, we're going to be the ones that decide whether it's worth the sub or not. We did it with every other game so far. Look at the Secret World and what happened there. We decided it wasn't a sub option. Same thing will happen here, but I do like having options. It's not a bad system. I just heard the word hybrid and expected a few more things in there. So
I think it's what everybody kind of expected. Yeah. It's just a day or two. I don't know if it was like a day or two after WildStar's announcement. Almost as if they were just waiting for it, waiting to hit that button. ElderScrolls Online confirms that they would be launching with a sub as well. I think this one more people probably expected, but I think people are on both sides. They either was like, this is definitely going sub-based, or there's no way this is going sub-based. Where did you guys sit? What did you think, Jason?
I think it was definitely going sub-based. I think we might have even done an over-under on this last year, and I think it was like 90% in favor of sub. So, yeah, not really that surprising at all. They've been talking it up from day one as the next big thing, and I hope the comparisons to Star Wars: Old Republic aren't that apt in a lot of ways, but I'm trying to figure out what the over-under is on how long before it goes free to play.
Ooh, we're going there already.
Here we go.
Yeah, we've got months, and he's already going free to play. I think my biggest, the thing that's going to be interesting at least to see is how the console player is going to take to this, because it's obviously a major target for them, and console players traditionally are not very much used to paying a subscription fee for a game, so that's going to be kind of interesting. You playing on PS3? You playing Final Fantasy on PS3, Burn?
Yeah, it's a secondary way I'm going to play it. When I'm fed up with all the computer monitors from regular work and then Game Breaker work and then just got to chill on the couch, PS3.
How do you think I guess it would be fair to say, how do you think Skyrim players coming over from Skyrim, not maybe a traditional MMO player, jumping into ElderScrolls Online, how do you think they would perceive it?
That's going to be the audience that you want to watch, because I played Final Fantasy XI for years on the console. I got it on launch day on the console, and it wasn't the first MMO I played, but it was the first MMO that I sank a significant amount of time in. And I graduated from the PlayStation 2 to the Xbox 360 version. My wife played on the computer, so I was MMO born on the consoles, for lack of a better term. I don't think you're going to have a problem with the MMO players that just want to play it on the console. They were already watching the game, and they're looking at it as, oh, okay, it's nothing new to them. Mm-hmm. The audience that I think is going to have the rude awakening is exactly like you pointed out, the Skyrim fan that isn't watching it as closely as we are, and just sees that a new Elder Scrolls game is out.
Exactly.
That's going to be the audience that's going to have a bit of a culture shock wake-up call, and maybe a more difficult time with the adoption rate there. But if ZeniMax can get that stuff out in advance to those people instead of just to our crowd watching this show, it'll help ease that transition a little bit.
But now, by that same token, Bern, if you were there from day one, how did the regular Final Fantasy players adjust to that? What do you think was the overall feeling from?
Yeah, but keep in mind there's a little bit of a difference there, because the Final Fantasy XI was already out on the PC prior to the console releases. They weren't a simultaneous launch.
Okay.
And it was already released in the East and then the West, and then the PS2 version cycled through. So I was that kind of culture shock person. I had never really paid a sub. I think I did maybe 1 or 2 months on particular games. But I was aware that there were games that had that type of payment model. If they can't get that message out to them that there are games with this model, then they're going to have problems with adoption.
Well,
it's going to be up to them to get the message out, though.
I think by this point, everybody should know that those games exist. I mean, MMOs aren't a new thing.
I would beg to differ, though. I would beg to differ just in the point that I'll agree with you if you talk about our age group. The mid-20s and up. We're well aware of this because we've seen it for years, and chances are we've touched one of the games, if not subscribed for a period of time. I think there's a younger crowd of console gamers that... My son's a perfect example. My son only knows about subscription-based gaming. He's 12 going on 13. He's an Elder Scrolls fan. He only knows about subscription-based gaming because of what his father does. Had I not done this, it would never be in his vocabulary. So there is going to be that audience, and I think it's the pre-teens to late teens maybe, that's going to have a little bit of a, whoa, this thing has a sub? I'm never playing a game that has a sub. But you're right. As far as people our age, I'll give you that. They're probably well aware that there are games like this out there.
But I think that is pretty interesting, because I've had similar experiences, like, friends, family, whatever, and somebody's kids, and I start talking to them, like, oh, you do work in video games, you talk about them, and I'm like, yeah, do you play any of these like games, like, World of Warcraft or anything like that? And they're just like, is it free? And I'm like, no. They're like, no. Then they immediately go, it's not free, like RuneScape? And I'm like, no. They're like, oh, okay. Then they don't. They play a lot of Xbox console games, but if it's not free, they don't really have the money, and I guess they don't really want to like bug their parents to like pay for them. So that is going to be interesting, and I don't know how they're going to really communicate that, or if they are going to even try to, because it's very hard to communicate, hey, we've got this new Skyrim game coming out, and you're going to pay $50 or $60 for it, and we want you to pay $15 a month for it. And people are like, but why? I didn't have to do that last time. Like, but it'll be worth it. Don't worry. Believe us. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go down that road of actually trying to explain to you why you should pay a monthly sub.
No, I don't think they have to sell you on the sub in advertising and things like this. I think it's just an awareness piece.
They don't want to call it. They don't seem to want to call it an MMO.
That's true too. But I think there's a certain an inherent danger here in not making it clear up front, because there are still people my age that have never played an MMO. Friends of mine that are hardcore gamers, whether they're just console or PC, that still are just, I will never pay a sub to play a game. And so they need to, in the advertising, get that out there. They don't have to sell you on why. They can do that afterwards, but I think to avoid the culture shock type thing, Chat said it best. The very young and the very, I don't want to say very old, but slightly older than us crowd that's still into gaming are really the only two audiences that are going to be surprised by this. How big is that Elder Scroll audience that hits those two areas?
I don't know. The other interesting thing here, what do you guys think of the whole fact? So now with you've got WildStar pushing back their date. They confirmed now that they're targeting spring of 2014, and that's the same quarter as SO. So now you've got two major AAA MMOs coming out same quarter. Gonna be a tough run. I mean, both sub-based. You can't even there chops that arm off of the decision making. You can't be like, well, one's free and I'll try them both.
I mean, if they come out spaced well enough apart, like 2 months apart, then maybe they could both be, they could both not really cannibalize each other so much. But if they're like a couple weeks or less than a month, then it's going to be interesting.
I mean, if you remember way back when, the week, it was over there a week or 2 weeks tops. I can't remember. I feel like I bought EverQuest 2 and World of Warcraft the same week. And we were trying to figure out which one we were going to play. And it is obvious who crushed who in that race. But yeah, that was really bad timing on that, right? Two major big MMOs coming out like literally within, I think, like probably within 14 days of each other. I can't remember. So gonna have a similar experience, I think, on this one.
How this year has changed, huh?
Yes.
Think back of what the MMO 2013 landscape looked like in January, and then what it's turning out to be.
What do you think this is going to turn into? Because here's a big thing. I mean, the big differentiator here right now it's not subs, but IP is huge. You've got WildStar, completely unknown, brand new, fresh IP that no one, and then you've got ElderScrolls, one of the largest franchises in the freaking world. I don't know. I'm a little bit fearful for WildStar right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if WildStar comes out first and then it's ElderScrolls, I don't think that hurts ElderScrolls as much as if ElderScrolls comes out first and then WildStar, as much as that hurts WildStar. If you can follow what I was kind of saying.
What do you think, Byrne?
There's no way to say that better. But Jason nailed it. He nailed it dead on.
Sure.
If Elder Scroll comes out first, WildStar needs to be worried. If WildStar can make it first to market, even if it's only by a couple of weeks, it gives them a little bit of an edge that they won't have the other way around. Jason, you're dead on, man.
You're dead on.
You said it better. You were.
Now, the other thing that's crazy is going back to really quick Final Fantasy XIV. Wow! Clear runway, Square Enix.
Yeah. Right, that's what I'm talking about.
You've got months. You've got months to just go. Just do your thing, get it right. So they, I mean, I got to say, like, the rest of the year is pretty much open at this point. We don't know anything for quarter four.
Except for Landmark, right?
Yes. Which, again, it's going to be free. So there's your choice of like, hey, I'm going to download it and I'm going to try this. It's not the full MMO, so it's more like, who knows what it's going to be like and how much time you're going to be spending in it, but it'll be fun. But I could see a lot of people watching a show like this where they pay attention to a lot of different MMOs and the ones who are subscribed to Final Fantasy XIV being like, oh, maybe I'll download that and try that, but there's no question there, right? And like, you're either interested in it or you're not, but if you're interested in it, you might as well download it. So I don't know. Square's actually got a nice runway here to kind of take this plane off and have a comeback. So
it's funny, dude, because like I said, back in January, looking at this, you were like, "Man, Square is in trouble."
Yeah, we thought WildStar was going to
pull this off. We thought WildStar was coming before the end of the year. We originally thought Elder Scrolls was, but after a month or so, we kind of thought that's going to leak into 2014. Jason, you had a tweet about this earlier. There were other things on the docket, too. What else?
I think I just mentioned those two.
Oh, Guild Wars expansion. Guild Wars 2 expansion we thought we would see. And so it was like a second chance for Final Fantasy, and then all these other guys at the same time. You're doomed. You are doomed. And then
I got to laugh at something.
pulls back, and okay, you're all alone. Go at it, Yoshi P. Do it.
I'll mention something. Chat room. I know I'm singling out one person, but Darkfall? No, it doesn't matter. Okay, moving on.
Hey, I own Darkfall.
Hey, so do I. Again, it doesn't matter.
I own Darkfall on Holy War.
Again, it doesn't matter. Now
I play shitty games.
How do you own Darkfall and Holy Wars, Mr. I hate PvP?
I know, right?
Wait a minute.
Go if you need proof, by the way, there's an episode of that game. There's only one episode of that game that was not a free-to-play game when the show was originally on Game Breaker and not free-to-play TV. And it's Darkfall and Holy Wars. We did it the week it came out.
I can't believe you have Darkfall. That's amazing. Jumping back for a second, I know there's an MMO show, but we can't really discount for Q4 the Xbone and the PS4 launching. Yep. So I know consoles suck, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of gamers will be spending their Christmas money on consoles. So that's, I think, where, and we've got a couple big, we can't forget like Destiny and The Division and these new games that are cropping up that are MMO-like. So, and the ElderScrolls fan base definitely, look for a multi-platform release. But so I don't know. I still got to go back and say, well, I guess we beat the dead horse. I don't know. I just don't know how. I don't know how console players are going to take to a subscription model. I think it's going to be really interesting to see if they can do it in mass. I think 11 had a better chance because it was Final Fantasy. And I think the way that they launched, like you said, on PC, I don't know. The Elder Scrolls is going to be really, really, really interesting. There's one more factor here to SO's business model. So according to a German interview, which was sohub.de, that's been all over Reddit this week. We're looking at some kind of a cash shop for Elder Scrolls Online. So it's buy the box, pay the sub fee, and we have a cash shop. WildStar, on the other hand, were not as clear. They were not as clear about this subject, but they said that they would be looking at it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? It's pretty damn ballsy. I mean, admit you have a cash shop right out the gate. I mean, I see more games are doing it now with cosmetic items. I don't know if it's such a big deal, but I think like announcing that you're a subscription-based game and you're like, and we have a cash shop. And we have it.
Here's another interview with Matt Fire on Eurogamer. Quote, we wanted to do monetization outside of the game. So if I pay for a month at a time, I have 100% of the game. I don't have to worry about paying one more cent. I'll never run into a pay gate, and I'll be in the world. And you have a cash shop.
That doesn't really make sense. Did he not get
the cash shop, unless it is strictly out of account stuff, like if you want to do a gender change or a race change or change your server, I could sort of agree with that. But based on that statement, there shouldn't be a pony, there shouldn't be a cosmetic outfit.
That statement does kind of allude to that there would be nothing. Yeah. But yes, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Could they just launch a cash shop with just that? Just gender changes, haircut changes maybe, and server transfers and things of that nature? Is that possible? Maybe. Interesting.
But if it's those types of things, do you really call it a cash shop? I mean, who wants to put the name cash shop on anything if they don't have to, right?
Yeah. I mean, look at what WoW was done before they did the XP potion. You wouldn't say they had a cash shop.
Right.
All the stuff they offered. So yeah.
I mean, you can't. If it was just the race changes and the server transfers and the renaming coupons and the re-roll the character's design, if it was just those items, I don't think they would have put the label cash shop on it. I think you only put the phrase cash shop on there and take the negative that comes with that good if you have other items, cosmetic armors, mounts, things that you would expect to see in a cash shop. I'm okay with a game wanting to put as many different monetization things in there. I mean, I do the free-to-play stuff. I like it. But I constantly tell people, yes, we all want every game to be free-to-play. But when we find the one we like, we secretly wish that it had a subscription. And everybody does that. Everybody feels that same way. You find the one you like, and you want all the free-to-play players to get the F out. And you want the cash shop gone. That's just the way it works. monetize however you want. I think this was a really, really bad move on ZeniMax's part, especially announcing it so close to, we're going to have a sub, oh, by the way, we're going to have a cash shop. It just seems like it's screaming of, we're going to milk this as long as we can, and then take it free to play, and we're already set to be free.
Yeah, that's the interpretation. With the two messages coming so close together, that's immediately how it is the perception of when you read those two articles that it comes out like that. So I agree. I think the timing of it was quite bad. I think they should have just say we're not commenting on a cash shop right now and waited at least 2-3 months to kind of pull that down, and Reddit wouldn't have gone crazy. I don't know, viewers, what do you guys think? I don't know. Leave a comment below about a subscription model. Are you guys happy? Do you think it's a mistake? How do you think people on the console are going to take to a sub? Let us know. Leave a comment below. All right, we got some more details about EverQuest next, but first I want to tell you guys about Netflix. That's right. Netflix. I love the Netflix. You love the Netflix. You gotta go to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV for a free 30-day trial. Check it out. I've been a long time Netflix subscriber. I love their streaming service. And now I love the fact they're doing all these original shows like Hemlock Grove and Orange is the New Black. They're getting great reviews. All of these new Netflix shows are great. They're doing a really, really kick-butt job. If you guys haven't tried out their streaming service, basically, you probably have some sort of streaming device in your home, maybe an Apple TV, maybe the new Chromecast. Got the box right here. Chromecast. This thing's awesome, by the way. Check it out. Or your iOS device, your iPad, your iPhone, all that good stuff. Roku. Basically, you sign up and make an account, and you can stream movies and television shows right to your device instantly. So I want to hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial. That's right, free 30 days. Check it out. Download, no caps, nothing like that. You can stream and watch as much as you want in 30 days. All you got to do is go over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV and sign up. Go. All right, so EverQuest next. From Gamescom. Side note, EQnext.tv. Coming very soon. The forums are done. Forums are ready. Forums might go online tonight. Look at Burn just laughs. He just starts laughing. I told you we're going to launch 2 websites a week for the next 8 months. It's coming. Our EverQuest next site is coming. So forums are almost done. Keep an eye out for that. No, not EverQuest next. EverQuest Landmark. Sorry, excuse me. Getting them confused. We'll just put them together. So EverQuest next Landmark, because SOE likes to be a little bit confusing with their names, and they're releasing 2 things. So we learned quite a few things, but I think the key point is that this thing, it sort of sounds like an MMO, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually. Surprisingly, I saw this as more of like a Minecraft when they talked about it initially. And now it's taking on some more MMO elements, definitely.
I mean, in terms of having some of the features they talk about, like chat and guild and all that, but I mean, I haven't quite figured out if there's any actual conflict. If there's like combat or PvP, or I know you could smash each other's buildings or whatever if you allow it, but but still, I mean, otherwise, yeah, it does feel like, as I said, kind of more like Minecraft in that pretty much you just ignore the creepers or whatever. Nobody actually does Minecraft for the fighting. You just go in there and do the construction and stuff.
So what do we know? So male or female toon, adventure class. There may or may not be more classes in Landmark. Do we know? I don't think so. I don't think we know. We don't know.
No, not yet.
You spawn at one of the world's great landmarks, and from there you get to go out and claim basically whatever spot you like. And from there, it's basically sandbox build mode. Start building, going out, finding resources. Obviously, you got to go do the resource thing if you want to build. Stuff just doesn't come out of, unlike Minecraft, it just doesn't. Well, Minecraft, you need them as well. Interestingly, though, you'll be able to claim other areas and link them together. That is something that we did not know. So potentially very large sandbox areas to build in. I think a lot of people thought that these might be kind of somewhat smaller, closed, areas that you just wouldn't be able to expand. But no. It sounds like you're actually going to be able to claim more than one area and actually connect them. pretty cool.
So what stops one guy from getting on the server first and just claiming everything?
I don't know. That would be my job.
That would, No, you're not going to claim them. After people claim them, you're going to beat them up and take it.
Yes. No, I mean, I would imagine that there's some sort of mechanism in place to actually get your deeds. You probably have to do things to get deeds, so you'll jump in and have to start racing towards probably. I mean, I'm going to assume like SWG, they're not going to do it like SWG, but exactly. But in SWG, you have to have like a master architect. You have to do all these things to actually be able to even acquire the deeds. So I would imagine like it's going to be impossible to just, spawn in the world, run around and say mine, 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 mine. And then, that would be just bad. Burn.
You said SWG. I had to take a drink.
Oh, was there anything good in it?
No, it's just Coke Zero. I got to be able to sleep tonight, brother, and get up early. Now, at 5 a.m. when I'm leveling, might be a little blue moon sitting next to me, but
there you go. At 5 a.m. Nice.
Yeah, that'd be a little rough. We might have to wait till like 9.
You might have a problem. Might want to go see somebody.
This game just keeps getting more and more. Ganon can't wait to grief. Ganon can't wait to grief.
Here's
you can team up. Oh, fantastic.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Let's get Scott Hawks in here right now and just make my life miserable for 6
Motor
days.
through. All right. Here's the MMO part, though. So here's the games. Guilds, friends, crafting, resource gathering, group building projects, and player shops. And this is what's kind of really surprising. These are all the things that I kind of expected in EverQuest next. But they're actually coming in Landmark, which...
Well, if I understood the video correctly when Dave Georgeson was talking about it, he said that EverQuest Next started as kind of just a play box for the developers when they were just making stuff on the side. Or Landmark started off that way. And then they just were like, well, why not just make a game out of this? So it already probably had a lot of that stuff. And so it wasn't incredibly difficult or like its own separate thing to make. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it would have at least all that basic stuff. They're going to put it in the regular game anyway.
I guess what's getting it's still slightly confusing because the more they reveal about Landmark, the more it sounds like there's no doubt that this is a game and not just like a building sandbox area to hang out in. Which is like, well, where's the real differentiation going to be between the two properties? Like, where is the line actually going to be drawn?
Well, that's like I said, I haven't determined if there's any actual combat in Landmark. So to me, it seems more like a Second Life or something kind of game, where it's more of a social building kind of thing as opposed to a go out, kill dragons, get tons of loot, special armor, whatever.
I want open world PvP, Jason.
Well, I know you do.
Yeah, I don't know like how other people took this, but when I saw the whole SOE Live thing, I was like, oh, okay, so they're going to launch this faux world later this year that I can go and I can build some stuff in, and I can hang out with friends and get materials and build some things, and then potentially they could make it into EQ Next or into the EQ Next cash shop, and I could make a little money, and oh, the player studio, oh, this is great. But to me it was, this is a creation tool, not a game. It's a Minecraft. Go in Minecraft and play it the way you play creation mode in Minecraft. Go do your thing, and oh, by the way, we can take those things and put them into the real game, which is over here.
Do you still see it that way?
No! Now I'm like, what the hell are you going to put in EQ Next? Because all this stuff's in Landmark, so what's in EQ Next exactly?
I don't know. I don't know where the line gets drawn. I mean, I don't see this at all happening, but no, that's just dumb. No, Landmark's not going away. I don't know. Like, I mean, it makes sense. They want to get one thing that definitely makes sense, and this is something that I thought about when we saw the presentation at SOE Live, was that if they had this, obviously people will use sandbox mode like in Minecraft S tools to build stuff just for fun. But I guess the first thing I questioned was just like, if there's not really a game here, why would I spend hours upon hours upon hours in Landmark? Now it's starting to make more sense that, well, if there's a bigger picture here, if there's more reason to live in this world and there's more stuff to do, then yes, I might actually spend a lot of time kind of building this stuff out. Jason,
and chat's saying EQN Landmark is where you build, EQN is where you explore. I don't necessarily believe that that's true anymore. Because from the most recent stuff that they're pumping out about guilds and community and building in chains and teaming up and things. It seems like EQ Next Landmark has all that exploration in it too. It's not to say that EQN won't. I mean, it has to. But I don't think that's the line anymore.
We don't know.
I agree with you. I thought that's where it originally was. Now I don't think it is anymore. I mean, no. Ugh. Ugh.
Blah, blah. Now here's something that's actually kind of cool, and so an incentive of playing Landmark is that when Next launches, you'll have access to the Adventurer class. So I don't know if you can acquire this any other way, but what a cool incentive! So it sounds like that you might have to actually play Landmark to get the Adventurer class in Next. Kind of neat.
You can reserve your character look and your name and everything. So people are going to be making like 12 characters in Next because they want to have all their names, or in Landmark because they want to have all their names reserved for Next. That's how it's going to be.
Oh yeah, no. So like you're going to be able to directly transfer your character, your adventure into EQ Next. So assuming that the character creator is the same, you can start getting attached to your toon this winter, Mr. Winter. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, I see what you did.
The more they keep revealing about EverQuest Next, the more I love it. EQNext.tv coming.
Did you see too? Just one other thing too. When they showed that time lapse of them making a thing. So at first it shows in they're changing the train and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of. So there's 2 people working on it. I'm like, oh, that must take weeks. This is in 46 minutes. I was like, what?
Right?
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, they do show that a couple people can build some stuff really, really quickly in the game with the tools that they have. So, looking awesome. All right, next up, Black Gold. We had fun with this one last week, didn't we? All right, Black Gold's Online's business model.
Are you ready,
Thank
Mike?
God for this. Wipe the sweat off. He's got notes. He's got notes, I'm sure. All right, so here's the good news. You've heard us talk about this on previous episodes. Black Gold, new game coming out from Snail Games. Very, very, very controversial and outside of the box business model, at least in the East. Well, we now have confirmation that it actually will be different in the West. So it is not going to be the exact same business model in the East and the West. So bad news, our producer read it 3 times and still didn't understand it. He just doesn't get it. Yes.
Well, that's because he only read it 3 times.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's look at this point by point. Let me bring this up here. So the save times in Black Gold Online is built in a different angle. You want to correct that, Jason?
No.
Okay.
This is killing him.
It's killing him. I could feel his grammar check coming through. Oh my God. All right. It measures and records your loot index in an hour and creates a slot. For player convenience, this will be saved automatically every hour. The game is able to store up to a number of saves at any given time. New saves will override the oldest and follow the logic from there. Translation?
Translation, after reading this at least 12 times, and then having a wonderful conversation with Johnny Lau, who's at the Global Marketing Center for Snail Games. He's the media and community lead. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate this, because I wanted to make sure we got all of this right. No cash shop at all. No sub at all. These save slots have not been determined yet how much you will get, how many you will get. But in Johnny and our conversation, we pretended for a minute that you would get 5. What it means is every hour you play, the game basically scores you. It gives you a loot index for that hour, and either white, purple, or gold. White means you really didn't do much, and gold means you accomplished a hell of a lot in that hour. And it gives you a marker, a save slot for that hour of the corresponding color. It then does it for the next hour, the 3rd hour, the 4th hour, the 5th hour, so you have 5 different rewards there. If you don't do anything with them, it will go back now for the 6th hour. It will erase your first one, and it'll place the 6th hour score there. So it's keeping score by the hour, white, purple, and gold. Basically, think of it as gold, silver, bronze. How did you do playing the game for that hour? So far, so good, right? Yes?
Okay.
Are you with me?
Sure, I think.
Okay. Let's keep going.
It'll all be understood soon. You'll know why.
Not going to pretend that this is going to be clear at the end, but you will understand it better than just reading their website.
The core idea of black gold time is based on a loot index, which determines the color of your save time. Am I going to need like a chart for this? Am I going to have to keep a chart next to it? Okay.
Nope.
Spreadsheet, maybe.
The loot index is measured by in-game actions you performed in that hour, completing missions, killing bosses, players, or mobs. There will be 3 levels with escalating chance of acquiring better loot.
Okay, so we're pretty much on par with what I just described to you. Each hour, it's going to give you a score based on how much you accomplished. The lowest score will just color that hour white. The middle score will color it purple. And the best score will color it gold. They're just calling the score a loot index. And you just saw that you can do anything. Kill people, players, mobs, bosses, do missions. Those will all contribute towards this score.
Okay. When you acquire a save slot for free or by purchase, the save itself will materialize into a special item called the Vial of Time with its own inventory space.
It's with an apostrophe. That's terrible.
with its own inventory space.
The quality for each vial of time is determined by the time slot's color, white, purple, gold. And with that, translation.
Okay, so this actually isn't that hard if you think about these vial of times in a different way. Think of them as lockboxes, like previous or other MMOs, other free-to-play MMOs. Think of them the same way. Lockbox has a certain color. You don't know what loot is in it, but the loot is commensurate with whatever color lockbox you bought. Same thing here. Your colored time slots that you have, when you claim one, and you will get some freebies. Right now, 2 per day. You can just take 2, no cost, or you can buy them. When you take those slots, they turn into these vials of that color. There you go. Gold slot becomes a gold vial of time.
I think I'm still with you. Jason, you with us? You still with us?
I'm following. I actually had to have him. I had to have him prove something I was writing about it earlier this week. So.
It took Jason and I 6 decoder rings, a conference call with Snail Game, and all kinds of other stuff to get this down. The thing is, before we get through this, it's actually a lot better than the East. We totally bashed the Eastern one, right? It's a lot better. But that doesn't mean that the model makes a ton of sense. It's kind of clever for clever's sake.
Now I'm almost wondering if we completely misjudged the Eastern model, like if it's really good or something, and we're getting shafted. I don't know.
It's possible. It's totally possible. All right. So, and finally, with every vial creation, so players will have 2 options of how to deal with their saves. So basically, you can do it 1, receive for free or pay with credits and loot all the content within, or 2, traded on the time exchange for credits normally acquired through real-life currency. And then following up here, it says, as the industry pioneer with this monetization model, Snail Games aimed at pushing the free-to-play boundary further. Players don't have to spend anything to enjoy the game to the fullest. All the content is available through normal game progression. For those that want to experience content quicker, the option is always there. Translation.
You can ignore this entire damn system if you have no intentions of paying any money. You are not gimped in the game. You are not restricted on the gear that you can acquire. You are not restricted on the loot quality. From white all the way through purple, you can go ahead and play the game as much as you want and ignore this. That's confirmed by this conversation that I had with Johnny. If this really just confuses you, ignore it. Play the game. It's not going to impact you. But you will be giving up 2 freebies at extra bonus loot. That's all this system does. is give you extra loot based on what you accomplish per hour in the game. It does not, like the Eastern model did when we talked last week or 2 weeks ago about it, it does not show you the loot you could have earned and then ask for the cash to get it. It gives you everything you earned in-game and then says, by the way, Jason, that last hour was the best MMO playing we have seen. Here is a gold time slot. You have 2 freebies left. Would you like to take this gold time slot and make it a gold vial of time? Jason says, sure, it doesn't cost me a dime. Now Jason can open that vial and take the loot, bonus loot that he wasn't anticipating getting, or he can leave the vial sealed and sell it for credits, which is the currency used to convert those save slots to vials. So he can save it for future.
Is that not quite? I read it as saying that, yeah, I get, if I have, say, 5 things in my 5 slots, I can claim 2 of them for free.
Yep.
But then I could choose to sell the other 3.
No, because the point of payment is converting a slot into a vial. That's the point of payment.
But if you go back to that 1 or 2 thing, the one said, choice 1, get it, either paying or free. Choice 2, sell it. So
right.
That makes me think I don't have to buy it to sell it.
No, because if you see, it's clever for clever's sake. It's those 2 options are what you can do with a vial, not what you can do with a slot. So you have to have already paid for the slot to become a vial, then with credits or cash to credits, whatever you had. And then once you have the vial, you can open it and get the items or sell it for more credits.
I really don't think that's how that's written. I think it says...
It says receive for free or pay with credits and loot all the content within.
Right.
Receive the vial for free or pay with credits to receive the vial and loot the contents within. Traded on the time exchange.
Well,
Gary,
for number two, then how do I acquire the thing that I'm trading?
Yeah, trade it on the time exchange for credits. This would be like if you wanted to pay a couple of bucks to get one, or it was one of your freebies. You didn't have to pay for it at all. You used one of your freebies to take a vial, and now you're going to sell it to get some credits.
No, that doesn't say that I have to acquire it with a freebie first. Acquiring with freebies is choice 1. Selling is choice 2.
Okay, see,
that's exactly what it says.
Let's go to the questions, because I think Jason, I sent you these, and both of us were like, okay, this makes a little more sense now that we've gone through an example with him. Now, this is, again, Johnny Lau. I asked 6 questions. The last one was just, why this model? But the one was, you made it pretty clear on the site, but I want to make sure that purchases are entirely optional. The only advantage paying gamers get is saved time to accrue bonus items, equipment, or materials. All of these are actually available in-game without purchase at all. They just make it tougher to acquire. Am I correct? To which Johnny says, items, equipment, and materials are acquired all in-game through PvE and PvP progression under a normal gearing curve. The Black Gold time segment is a neat system that records your actions per hour and gives you extra loot. Paying gamers will have the advantage because they're purchasing more chances of extra loot per day. So fine, you can totally ignore it if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
As for save slots, this is my next question. I know the actual number of slots has yet to be determined, but for the sake of discussion, let's say there's 5. This means that every hour Black Gold will kind of give me an hourly grade of white, purple, or gold based on how much I accomplish in game for that hour. With 5 slots, after 5 hours, the next save will write over my first slot. Am I still correct? Johnny says yes, but the actual number in the plan is probably going to be many folds more than 5. Can't be more than 24, could it? Question 3. A player that isn't interested in this at all can totally ignore these saves entirely, although they would be giving up 2 or maybe more as beta progresses free slots per day. Johnny says yes, Black Gold time does not hinder gameplay progression, but to be honest, nobody wants to give up free loot. And he's right. 4, at this point, I've played for 5 hours. I have a few slots to choose from. We'll say that I have 1 freebie left for the day. I use my freebie to take a purple slot out of my group of 5. And only now, if I want to take another one, will I have to pay for it. Is this correct? That's correct. You will have 2 freebies per day, as you mentioned. There's no difference between a save acquired for free or from credits. It's determined by your loot index. So that's the point of purchase, is taking the save slot to make it a vial. Number 5, if that's correct and I pay for the second slot, I now have 2 vials of time in my inventory. The slots have changed to those items when I claimed one for free and when I bought the other. I can open these and grab all the loot for myself, or I can leave them sealed, sell them to another player for credits on the time exchange, and use those credits to take some other save slot and turn it into a vial at some other time. Have I got this chain of events down correctly? This is exactly what you and I are asking, Jason. Mm-hmm. The answer is the slots disappear once you materialize the slots into vials of time and free space, preserving all your older slots, leaving them available for free or for credits later. Again, leaving the slots available for free or credits later, though they will still be overridden if you keep them there too long. Yes, you have 2 options once you've reached this point. Open them, grab the loot for yourself. It works like a magic chest. The better color the vial, the better and more equipment you get. Or trade the vial on the time exchange for credits, which you can use to buy your own slots.
Okay, that part...
So their site does not word it in a very informative manner. Yeah. I will give you that. But you and I are on the correct path here. Their site just maybe doesn't explain it like this. And that's why I had to reach out to them. I didn't want to do this show and have us just guessing at this. Do I like it? I think it's kind of neat, but I think it's also maybe clever for clever's sake when it really didn't need to be, right? Just, hey, if you play for an hour, based on the amount of experience you get, we're going to give you 2 free bonus loot chests per day. You can do whatever you want with them. If you want more than that, we'll still offer them to you, but you got to pay. I mean, there's just... It's clever for clever's sake. And that was kind of like the last question.
It's clever
why.
For never going to work's sake.
You don't think it's going to work? I mean, I think they'll make money off of it. I don't know how long.
I guarantee you, if I took a poll right now, the chat room still doesn't understand what you just talked for like 20 minutes about.
I know.
The fact that we had to have this conversation, and the fact that we had to have this conversation, this should be a telltale sign that like nothing should be this complicated. No one is going to comprehend this. Like, unless you sit and read all this and dig into it, you're going to have no idea how this system works. I'm sorry.
And just reading it, we didn't. We had to reach out to them. We had to reach out to them.
That's exactly the problem. This might have a chance if they could just learn to use English. I'm sorry.
There's definitely a lot lost in translation on the website.
Yeah, nothing else.
It's really not that complex if it wouldn't have been explained in a complex manner. We're going to give you a score for every hour you play. Based on that score, you get 1 of 3 rewards. We're going to give you 2 of those rewards for free. You get some extra loot. Or you could sell them for credits. If you want more than 2, we'll still show you what your score was, but you got to pay for the more than 2. End of story. That's it. That's the model in a nutshell.
All right.
And it didn't need to be this hard.
It is. It's really hard. That's what I heard. That's about what I heard for the past like 10 minutes. You did a fine job of translation. You were commended, sir.
You know what? Fine. I'm not going to call in favors and stuff like that anymore, Gary. I'm just going to be like, you know what? Screw it. I have no idea what the frick this means. Let's talk about it.
No, I'm defending you. I'm saying like you did an awesome job trying to get to the bottom of this and like explain it to everybody. It's still the fact that like there is so much verbiage that needs to go along with explaining this whole model that I'm just like, what? Unless you're like insanely like just dedicated to this game and you were gonna dig in deep to figure all this out. I mean, who's gonna get this? I think it's way too complicated. That's all I'm saying.
The guy who came up with it gets it, and he thinks that's good enough.
It's like I said, it's clever.
No, you keep saying it's clever
for
clever's sake, and that doesn't always usually equal a really good thing. It's like
I don't even think it's really good. I'm not arguing that it's really good. I'm not arguing in favor of it. I'm saying when I say clever for clever's sake, I'm kind of saying there was no reason to do it.
But this is even sort of the problem. this is kind of the issue.
5 years from now, every game does it.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
God, don't say that.
But this is kind of the issue
that.
Age of Wushu had a little bit as well, because some of the systems in there, like, although they weren't like so outside of the box that once you really understood them, it wasn't like these were like completely out of left field, but they were just so complicated to understand that you needed to sit with like 5 other people and really start like, how does this work? And it took like days to figure out some of the systems in that game.
And the only reason I did this much research is because of how bad we perceive the Eastern model to be. There are people looking forward to this game. I am. I kind of like the whole steampunk and fantasy thing bunched up like this.
It looks great.
I want to check it out. I like Age of Wushu, but I'm not into the PvP. This is using Wushu systems more in a PvE. So there's things good about the game that I do want to check out. The Eastern model totally turned the West off. Because it was like, here's what you could have won, give us money. And so when
they're watching this, I'm going to say, like, they seriously need to get somebody on board who is strictly an English-speaking translator somehow to then take all of this, and all their job is to do is to take this information, digest it, and translate it into much simpler speak, and whether that is coming up with like infographics and diagram, like somehow they need like a communications expert, because these ideas are a little too hard to like encapsulate very quickly, and you're gonna lose a lot of people.
Don't expect this to be like a fly-by-night game. 5 Chinese banks sank almost $100 million into this project.
Right.
$100 million. Oh, by the way, Age of Wushu's expansion came out this month, and they just had server mergers yesterday. Banks sank $100 million into this project, and it needs to work for Snail.
Well, communication is key, and right now it's I wouldn't say change the systems, but at least get some really solid communication down that explains these systems in a much more streamlined manner. That's all I can really say. This conversation should have been about 3 minutes long.
I said before show, I commented in chat, I'm like, we're going to need half the show to talk about this.
Yeah.
Really?
I said that.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, I'm going to move on. Bit of a good news, bad news week situation for the old Neverwinter. Good news, Fury of the Feywild launch, bringing it with a lot of good stuff, and 2 new races. You're right there, Burn. You need a massage after that.
I do. I do. That's rough. Snail Game owes me a massage.
One of the races got delayed. Apparently, not exactly the best start. Which one got delayed?
Sun Elves.
The state of the game revealed that that a new class was the only way, and existing classes would receive additional Paragon paths, all by the end of this year. What does the Paragon path translate into regular MMO terms?
End game ultimate abilities, I guess, is Jason. Is that
it's kind of like an end game skill tree, isn't it? Yeah, sort of.
All right, so they also mentioned that all the bugs they squashed during the problem-ridden open beta, which made kind of funny when a major issue popped up in the first hour of the expansion going live. So a very large number of people were getting heavy Inferno Nightmare mounts from Nightmare lock boxes during the time. And it was a very large number from what I understand, correct?
Yeah, it was... The servers were up for an hour from expansion launch to taking the servers back down. And there are posts on the forums where people were kind of giving an estimate on their server how many of these Inferno Nightmares that they see won. And there were estimates upwards of 130 in a 15-minute period. Wow. And the servers were up for an hour. So in some cases, pretty bad. Wasn't a 100% chance to win it, but it was pretty damn close.
Sounds like it was pretty close. To their credit, I guess, they fixed it really quick. I think it was within the hour they got this sorted?
Yeah, within that hour they yanked it down, and then they had the server back up in another hour.
And good news for those of you who got lucky within that first hour, because there won't be any rollbacks or anything like that. Are these mounts tradable?
And that's the problem.
Oh, hey!
And
there's the rub.
Well, I bet you
they
are real cheap now.
So it kind of, you can. Basically, when people saw that this was most people just probably got a mount and were like, oh sweet, I finally won. Wow, a lot of people are getting mounts. Oh well. But there were obviously people that realized something's not right. Let me buy a bunch of keys and open my chests right now, and got multiple versions of this mount because yes, you can sell them.
Just pick one up before they're all gone because they're cheap. Fire sale, the Inferno sale going
right.
going now.
The people I really feel for this though, in this it's a game, right? But the people I really feel for are the people that had these mounts before the expansion. They're the ones that get rocked the most because they actually got lucky, got this thing that's kind of a cool little symbol in the game, and now it's almost meaningless. It kind of sucks.
That does kind of suck. They should. I mean, what do you think they'll do? Do you think they would come up with like another mount in place of this since these are now so they're not going to do rollbacks and these are just like all over the place?
I don't think they're going to do anything, to be honest. I think they're just going to reset back to the normal drop rates and keep going and let it just wash itself out of the economy.
There you go. Last up really quick today, World of Warplanes will be launching on September 26th. That was announced this week. Going to be very, very interesting to see how the World of Warplanes does with the American audience. Maybe more excited than tanks. Can't wait to see that. This is Mike Burr. Follow him on Twitter, MagicMan, MIGICKMANN. And of course, right here on the TWIMMO, as well as XIV Reborn, our Final Fantasy XIV show on the XIV Nation. So always a pleasure, sir. And freetoplay.tv, of course. Freetoplay.tv. So many plugs. Pretty soon we just can't even do it anymore. We're just gonna have like 30 sites. Can't even name them all. Thank you so much for the insightful business model of Snail. It was. People are going to take that and be watching it in classrooms for years to come, sir.
Yes, I've just given economics professors a week's worth of material.
Jason Winter, follow him on Twitter at WinterInformal. And of course,
it just gave me a week's worth of headaches.
Oh, ouch. Follow me, Winter Informal. And of course, come right here to TWIMMO every single Friday at 3 PST, where his positive outlook and handsomely good looks.
Okay, that part, yes.
You can follow me at Gatebreaker TV or follow me at Gary Gannon and come over to the news sites, hearthnation.com, XIV Nation, freetoplay.tv, all that good stuff. And don't miss the new show. Oh, Final Fantasy Peeps got a new show called Waypoint, and we've also got a new show coming up live right after this show, where the GBN cast, where we kind of plug a lot of our shit. See you next week.